Jai Hind everyone. I am Vivek Kumar Pansari, Assistant Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. In this video, I will be taking impulse turbine for our discussion purpose and how the energy, the potential energy of water is getting converted into the electrical energy with the help of impulse turbine specifically. So, this particular case. But before moving to impulse turbine, first I would like to discuss about the turbines. So, energy is always the requirement of humankind. We all know the availability of energy must be there so that we can live our life with full of comfort, and energy is already available in nature, but we as an engineer has to find out some means to convert that energy into usable form, and turbine is one of the development in that field. So, here we can say the hydroelectric power, it means the energy of flowing water is getting converted into electrical energy. So, that is why the word hydroelectric power is used here. It is the most remarkable development pertaining to the exploitation of water resources throughout the world. It means the energy which is available with flowing water, energy which is available with the head of water, that energy is converted into electrical energy. If I can convert that, if we can convert that energy of flowing water into useful form, so yes, we can. So, this is what the hydroelectric power, and for doing this we need turbine, we need turbine. So, that is why it is the most remarkable development we are saying. Hydroelectric power is developed by hydraulic turbines, which are hydraulic machines, yes. But what exactly turbine does? Turbine convert hydraulic energy, it means the energy available with water, either it is the flowing water or it is contained at some height. So, the turbines convert that hydraulic energy or hydro potential into mechanical energy. So, turbine is basically, it is the combination of runner blades circumferentially mounted, and on that when a water jet strikes, it converts the hydraulic energy into mechanical energy. So, I will be explaining with the diagrams also. And that mechanical energy, so whenever there is a flow, if I say the jet is coming and the jet of water is striking at this point, so obviously it will try to rotate this blade. So, this rotation of this blade is transferred to the shaft. Okay, so that is what is written over here. Mechanical energy developed by turbine, it means the rotation of the shaft which is developed by turbine is used to run electric generator coupled to the shaft of turbines. Okay, what does it mean? So, whenever we are achieving the rotation of the shaft, along with this rotation a coil in magnetic field also rotates, and when this coil rotates, the flux, which flux? The magnetic flux changes, and here comes the role of Faraday's law. Okay, whenever there is a change in magnetic flux, there will be induced EMF, and if there will be induced EMF, then definitely there will be some induced current also. So, what is done here? The hydraulic energy available with water is converted into mechanical energy with the help of turbine and runner blade. Then with the rotation of the turbine blades, the shaft is rotated, and along with the rotation of the shaft, the generator which is coupled with that shaft, in which the Faraday's law of induction comes in picture. So, electricity generated. So, this is how the turbine works. This is how the turbine is working. Hydroelectric power is the most cheapest source of power generation because the abundance of availability of water which is flowing in river. So, we can say it is the most easiest or cheapest way of power generation, and power generation means electric power generation. So, this is what the turbines. Now, it is not possible to have only one kind of turbine. because the availability of head, the availability of amount of water and the conditions in which the turbines has to be used are different. So on different bases, although the principle is almost same, ultimately we have to rotate the shaft so that the magnetic flux is changing, but on different criteria, on different bases, turbines are classified. So the very first classification is based on according to the availability of head and the quantity of water. On that basis, the turbines are classified as high head turbine, medium head turbine and low head turbine. High head turbine, when do we call high head turbine? High head turbines are the turbines which work under heads more than 250 meter. If the availability of energy is more, if the availability of head is more, I hope that the term head is clear. Okay, that's what we discussed with the Bernoulli's equation. Okay, so if the availability of head is sufficient, if it is more than 250 meter, then we consider that the high head turbine. So obviously if the head is high, energy is high, then the quantity of water which required is less. So the quantity of water needed in case of high head turbine is usually small. And a very good example for this is the Pelton turbine. Pelton wheel is a very good example for high head turbine. Then comes to the second type, medium head. Now if the availability of energy with the flowing fluid is not that much, okay, so in that case, so how do we categorize the 45 meter to 250 meter? If the availability of head is so much, okay, then obviously it requires more water as compared to high head, but less water as compared to the low head turbine. And a very good example for this is Francis turbine is a example for medium head turbine. Another category, another type is the low head turbine. So turbine which work under a head of less than 45 meter. It means the flow energy available is less, then obviously the amount of water, quantity of water required is more. So in that case, the Kaplan turbine comes in picture. So this is a very good example of low head turbine. So this is the first classification based on the availability of head and the quantity of water. Second classification is based on hydraulic action, and on that basis it is classified as impulse and reaction. Impulse means it is the impact produced by the jet of water. So as I told, so whenever a flowing fluid is coming through a nozzle and converted in form of a jet, when it strikes to some blade, and these blades are circumferentially mounted on a shaft, on a rotor. Okay, so when this jet is striking, it transfers a certain impact. On that, and with the help of this impact, these blades are making the rotor to rotate. Okay, so this is what the impulse turbine, the basic principle here. So if the runner of a turbine rotates by the impact or impulse action of water, it is known as impulse turbine. So this is the one way. Okay, another way is reaction turbine. Reaction against what? Reaction against the change in pressure, reaction against the drop in pressure. So in that case, in case of impulse turbine, we are considering the pressure at the inlet at the striking of the turbine and pressure at the exit of the turbine is same. But another kind of turbine, just take the example of nozzle. What is and I am talking about a converging nozzle. So what happens in converging nozzle? In converging nozzle, the diameter, the cross section is continuously decreasing, and because of the continuously decrease in diameter, the velocity is increasing, and this velocity is increasing, it means the kinetic energy is increasing, and kinetic energy is increasing at the loss of pressure energy. It means there is a drop of pressure. So that can also be utilized. That conversion of pressure energy into kinetic energy can also be utilized to rotate the runner of the turbine. So that is what the reaction turbine. So in these turbines work due to reaction of the pressure difference between the inlet and outlet of the runner. So because of the drop in pressure, because of the change in pressure, the reaction is developed. So this is what the reaction turbine. So this is what the basic principle. Is it working on impulse principle or is it working on reaction turbine? We can classify. The another classification is based on how the flow of water is maintained at the inlet. Okay, so depending upon the direction of flow through the runner, following types. So tangential flow, radial flow, axial flow and mixed flow. So here now we can take one by one all the cases. This is what the first case. Here I am considering what? I am observing there is a nozzle arrangement is there. Obviously a water jet is prepared here. This water jet is tangential to this. Tangential to what? Tangential to the blade profile. Tangential to the blade profile at the inlet. So that's why these are considered as tangential flow. So here we can observe. What we can observe? When this water jet is striking, obviously the rotation of this runner is occurring. So with the rotation of this runner, the shaft is also rotating. This shaft is connected to what? This shaft is connected to the generator, electric generator, where the electric coil is also rotating in magnetic field, so the electricity generated. So this is the tangential flow turbine. This is also a impulse turbine. Because here the generation of electricity, here the rotation of this runner is occurring with the help of impact transfer, with the help of impulse transfer. So this is the very good example of tangential flow impulse turbine. Okay. The second I am considering the case of radial flow turbine. So here what? A vortex tube which is continuously decreasing in diameter. Okay. And here we are finding these are the guide vanes. These are what? These are the guide vanes. Guide vanes are doing what? Guide vanes are guiding the fluid which is coming in this vortex tube towards the runner blades. And this inlet of water at the runner blade is radially inward. So that's why it is named as radial flow turbines. Now what is happening here? Because of the continuous decrease in dia of vortex tube, the velocity is increasing and pressure is decreasing. Along with this radial inward flow of the water, the pressure is continuously decreasing. So a reaction is developed. It means the kinetic energy is increasing at the loss of pressure energy. So that's why this is also known as reaction turbine. So this is a very good example of radial flow turbine. Again I am explaining, here the water is coming in vortex which is continuously decreasing in dia. So the pressure energy is decreasing, kinetic energy is increasing. Here we find the guide vanes. These guide vanes are directing the fluid radially inwards. That's why it is named as radial flow turbine. And because of the drop of pressure, the kinetic energy develops which rotates this runner. So this is what happening in radial flow. Now here come to the third one, that is the axial flow turbine. Okay, principally it is also a reaction turbine, but why it is named as axial flow? Because the water which is entering, it is parallel to the axis of the turbine. That's why it is named as axial flow turbine. Okay, so this is axial flow. And in some cases there may be the combination of axial or mixed radial flow of turbine. So this is how we can classify the turbines. Now specifically, now we are coming to the impulse turbine. Most of the working I discussed with that particular diagram. So the concept is now known, what is basically the impulse turbine is. So the impulse turbine, the pressure change occurred in the nozzle. It means when the jet of water is prepared in nozzle, the pressure changes there only. Okay, where the pressure head was converted into kinetic energy. So this is what I already told, a water which is coming through penstoke that passes through the nozzle, which is converging type of nozzle, where the pressure energy is getting converted into kinetic energy. Okay, there was no pressure change in the runner, which had the sole duty of turning momentum change into torque. So whenever the water is striking, whenever the water jet is striking to the turbine blade, there is no pressure drop. Okay, the flow of water is tangential to the runner, so it is also known as tangential flow impulse turbine. So this is also clear because the water jet which is striking to the turbine blade is tangential to the blade, so that's why it is named as tangential flow. And why it is known as impulse? Because the working is based on the impact transfer or the impulse transfer. The speed jet of water hits the bucket on the wheel and causes of wheel to rotate. Yes, this is what happening. A spear rod, I will be showing in this diagram, a spear rod which has a spear shaped and can be moved with the help of hand wheel. And the purpose of a spear rod is what? To control the jet, to control the flow of water. So here we can come to the this particular diagram. So this is the water and from dam it is coming through jet. Okay, so the water is flowing inside. Here we can find there is a nozzle, so the pressure energy is getting converted into kinetic energy, cross section is getting reduced, so the velocity is increasing. This is what the spear rod, we can say. Okay, and this is the hand wheel. So if I am rotating this wheel, it is moving, it is reciprocating, it is moving in and out. Okay, na? So from this we can control. If it is coming towards right, then obviously the flow of water is restricted, so the jet will be minimum. When I am taking it left, spear rod is going in left direction, then the jet of water will be, or the quantity of water which is striking to the blade will be more. So the high jet water is striking here, obviously, so it causes the runner to rotate and the shaft is also rotating. So this is what the impulse turbine. What exactly the shape? Here a simple diagram is shown, but the actual shape of the blade is something like this. So we can find out the bucket type. Okay, now bucket type blades are there in impulse turbine, so we can check with the exact diagram. So I hope this is clear. Now we can understand the working of each and every component. Okay, what is blade? These are the blades, circumferentially mounted on the rotor. Okay, so the number of blades situated over the rotor, they are concave in shape. The water jet strikes at the blades and change the direction of it. The force exerted on the blade depends upon the amount of change in direction of jet. So the blades are generally concave in shape. Why the concave shape? This is also clear. Because of the striking, the change in momentum occurs, so the force is there, so the energy is there. Rotor, which is also known as wheel, this is the rotor, this is rotor here. Rotor, which is also known as wheel, is situated on the shaft. All blades are pinned into the rotor. The force exerted on the blades passes to the rotor, which further rotates the shaft. Now we can come to the nozzle. So here we can see the nozzle also. So here we can see the nozzle. Okay, a nozzle is there. This is what the spear rod. This is the hand wheel through which we can maintain the movement of this spear rod. Okay, so in this nozzle, what is happening? So a nozzle play main role of generating power from impulse turbine. Obviously, because a jet of water is generated here. Nozzle which converts all pressure energy of water into kinetic energy. Here the pressure is dropping in nozzle only. Okay, and this pressure energy is getting converted into kinetic energy. So nozzle, it converts all pressure energy of water into kinetic energy and forms the water jet. This high speed water jet strikes the turbine blades. Okay, now coming to the another one, the casing. This is what the casing. The purpose of casing is to restrict the wastage of water. So casing is the outside or which prevent the turbine from atmosphere. One thing. The main function of casing is to prevent discharge the water from vanes to tail race. There is no change in pressure of water from nozzle to tail race. So the pressure drop, again and again I am emphasizing, pressure is dropping only in nozzle. As here there is a tail race. So there is no pressure drop from this point to this point. We are considering it is the atmospheric pressure which is maintained. And the purpose of casing is to protect the turbine and turbine blades and to avoid the spillage of water outside the casing. So this is what the function of casing. Now coming to the braking nozzle. Braking nozzle is basically to stop the turbine, to apply the brake. So a braking nozzle is provided sometimes in opposite direction, sometimes in opposite direction of this. So a nozzle is provided in opposite direction of main nozzle. It is used to slow down or to stop the turbine wheel. So this is how a turbine, impulse turbine works. I hope from different diagrams and other things, the working of impulse tangential flow turbine is clear. So that's all for this particular video. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you very much.